My number one wide receiver, you guessed it. You already know who it was. You already knew. It's Jamar Chase, man. Jamar Chase left a lasting taste, pause, in all of our mouths in the national championship game when he roasted A.J. Terrell 6 ways to Sunday. Cooked him up, served him up for a Sunday feast for everybody to see. I thought Terrell competed, but he got his ass whooped. And it's okay. I remember saying after that night, I don't know when this guy becomes a full-blown adult because he was a minor at the time. I don't like looking at minors. Okay? I feel dirty. It doesn't feel right. I don't like looking at him. I don't like talking about him. Knew the guy wasn't draft eligible, so I tried to push him out of sight, out of mind. Didn't know that would be the last time I would see him on a football field in a collegiate sense. But damn it, I couldn't get it out of my brain. He left an indelible mark on my brain, and it was etched in my memory bank, and I said, this guy is different. And despite not playing in 2020 and having Devontae Smith run amok in the SEC and break all of his records that he had just set the year prior, I still got him as my number one guy. Let's take a look at Jamar Chase. As we flip his card over, it's funny. When I watched Jamar Chase, I saw speed. I'd be lying if I said I saw 4.38 speed. And I think a lot of people questioned how fast he was going into his pro day. I really do believe that. I think there were people that said, hey, bruh, we think you fast, but how fast are you really? So, and his 40 time, believe it or not, was the difference between him being the first receiver off the board or him being the third or fourth receiver off the board in this draft. If that speed was more of a 4.48, are we talking about him potentially being the number one pick? I don't think so. I think Jalen Waddle leapfrogs him, and maybe Devontae Smith in some people's eyes leapfrog him. Because then you're just looking at him, oh, okay, he's just a physical specimen. He's not really a burner per se. Even though your eyes didn't deceive you, he ran by guys in 2019. He ran by corners in 2019. The 4.38, it cinched it for him. It cemented his place as the number one receiver in this draft. And I'm not going to lie, it did it for me. I knew he could run. The Vandy game was the game where I said, okay, that was the one I needed to. I don't know if any of those guys are fast. I know they had angles, and he beat every single one of them. I said, okay, I just needed confirmation. I saw you run past Florida. I saw you run, past a couple of corners and go up and get it. I saw you run past A.J. Terrell a couple of times in the national championship game versus Clemson. Look, I saw it. But I also am aware that some of that is just pure, sheer physicality. You just Debo'd dudes. Hey, oh, you want to put hands on me, eh? All right, I'm going to toss your little ass like a salad. Pause. When it's all over, put your vote in my ballot. It's my Donna. I'm Mel and you're Alice. Spend the night in Little C's palace. I could do this all night. He was tossing dudes around, man. And that's one of the things I love about him. We'll get to it in a bit. But the speed is his first pro, and he can run. Acceleration and run after the catch. Again, I questioned this a bit, and it was the Vandy game that did it for me. I saw him run. I knew he could run. I knew he was capable, but I wasn't sure if it was difference-making or not. Some guys, you see it, and there is no question. Okay, I know what that is. I know what that looks like. I needed to see it. I saw it against Vandy, and I said, all right, you got me. Hands up. You got me. And he's not a make-you-miss guy. His run after the catch looks different. It's physical. He'll lower the shoulder and run you over. He'll run through an arm tackle. And if he's got enough space, he'll run around you with speed. But he's not a break you down and shake you down type of guy. Doesn't have to be. He does his by brute force. And then every now and again, when you start looking for brute force, he comes with the finesse and runs by you. Athleticism. I'm going to go ahead and couple it with this next one because my favorite thing about Ja'Marr Chase is his physicality and his leaping ability. He doesn't care, man. A lot of BFGs he's tossing out. Ball fragment grabs where he puts his nutsack on your helmet, goes up and gets it, disrespects you. I mean, just all kinds of disrespect, man. You got fragments all over your helmet that you got to wipe off, and he's strutting into the end zone. I mean, I can't tell you how many dudes he went up on. There's a long list, though. You got to get in line. You know, I watched him go up and get one on poor Trayvon Diggs in 19 against Alabama. He's stumbling all over the place. I mean, he just so effortlessly stops, plants, come back, jump for it, leaps, gets it. Trayvon Diggs is stumbling 3-4 yards out of the way, and he just jumps right into the end zone. I'm like, damn, is it like that? Is it that easy? I'm watching him against Texas. That was one of the most disrespectful, rude, hey, give me that. You don't know what to do with that. Back up. No, seriously, back up. Just took the football from him. Give me that shit. You don't know what to do with that. That's mine. Did your quarterback throw that? I didn't think so. Back up. Just took it from him. And you see that with Ja'Marr Chase. Got no problems disrespecting the opposition and just taking it from him. Much like I said with Devontae Smith, it ain't 50-50, it's 70-30. He's a go-getter. Throw it up, and I'm not throwing it up as a 50-50. I'm throwing it to my guy. I see one-on-one, and I'm throwing it to my guy because he's going to come down with it. And he confirmed that with his vert. I think he leapt like 40 inches, 41 inches on his vert. Like, the dude can get up and go. Natural hands. I can't remember a single drop on film that I watched. I'm not saying he didn't have any drops. In the games that I watched, I don't recall a flat out like, damn, Ja'Marr, what you doing? You know, if he didn't catch it, it was a tough catch that you expect him to make, but he didn't make it. And there may be one drop in there that I may be omitting that he might have had, but for the most part, man, you talk about catches in traffic. This guy had more catches in traffic, and that's either a blessing or it's a curse. Because on one hand, you say, hey, it don't matter. 3rd and 6, I force it to my guy, he's going to get it for me. Or you say, hey, his ass ain't separating. That's why he's got to catch every damn thing in traffic. Well, a wise man once told me there's 3 ways to separate. There's speed, there's quickness, and then there's size. Size and physicality. And he's got that latter portion. No, he's not 6'4". He's not back shoulder fading you to death because you can't get around his 6'4" frame. He's just physical, man. You see him flexing? That's real. He's just out muscling dudes. Poor AJ Terrell tried to get physical. He didn't want that smoke. So he had to get tossed around. I saw a lot of dudes try. Many guys tried. Many guys failed to be physical with Ja'Marr Chase at the line of scrimmage. I just don't know why you would even try at this point. Do you really want to get blessed with this physicality? I can't tell you how many times Joe Burrow just said, hey, F it. I need a completion. Hey, Ja'Marr, I'm coming your way. And the defender's right there, and Ja'Marr just boxes him out, grabs it, snatches it out, comes back down the stem, snatches it out of the air. In traffic, There's a toughness and a fearlessness to Jamar Chase. I can't tell you how many times he catches a ball down a sideline or upper seam and the safety's bearing down, and he knows he's going to get hit. Catches it anyway. And for whatever reason, he still don't take a big shot. I'm like, hey, you were supposed to light his ass up. But he knows he's going to get hit. That's a mentality. Knowing that the big shot is coming and you still make the catch. Down the sideline versus Alabama. Up the seam. I forgot another game I was watching. Up the seam. He knows the shot's coming. He knows it's coming. He goes and gets it anyway. Physicality off the line of scrimmage and at the point of catch. I talked about those things already, but just to reiterate, I wouldn't put my hands on him at the line of scrimmage. You're free to press, but it's a free release press. Like, don't put your hands on him. Don't do it. Keep your hands to yourself. Okay? Don't invite him. Don't give him a reason to muscle you up. Just run with him. That's it. If you want to get handsy at the point of catch, okay, you can do that. I would advise against it because he's still going to out-muscle you. But if you want to lay hands on him when the ball's in the air, okay. Yeah, it might be a flag. It might not be. But that's your best shot. Don't try to do your work early. You'll get embarrassed. Formational flex. At LSU, you had to move around. Like I told you, a lot of empty sets. Joe Burrow was allowed to empty the set and just go to work. Spread you out. And Chase was everywhere. X, Z, slot, both left and right, motion. Hell, Jamar Chase lined up in the backfield. I don't know if you recall, it was 2019, but he's in the backfield creating mismatches against linebackers. I'm like, they should have took more advantage of that. And then lastly, he was an alpha in 2019. They were loaded, man. They were loaded. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Terrence Marshall Jr., Thaddeus Moss, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They were loaded. And he was the alpha. 84 catches, 1,780 yards, which at the time was an SEC record. Averaged 21 yards per catch. My God. 20 touchdowns. At the time, an SEC record. All of those would be shattered the following year by Devontae Smith. Now, you can say to yourself, is he a one-year wonder? We'll talk about that. But in that 1 year, he showed you everything you needed to see in order to know, and we got a beast on our hands, don't we? Yeah, we do. Weaknesses. I'd like to see a more spirited effort from him in the run game. He's hit or miss. If he feels like it, he'll lay hands on a guy and try to block him. But 75, 80% of the time, he's like, I don't really feel like doing this. Maybe next time. Maybe next time I'll block. He can get excessive with his setup steps. Much like I talked about with Jalen Waddle. I don't need you beating up the ground to set a dude up. I don't need you in and out and beating up the turf, pitter-patting. And you good enough to just get out of that thing. You good enough to just roll it if need be. I don't need you beating up the turf. You better than that. Don't give a guy a chance to get in the hip pocket. Break him off and come back. Can he separate from just sheer route running ability? I didn't see that on tape. I didn't see a guy that was a clear winner. I saw a guy that, and again, in the LSU offense, he wasn't running a whole hell of a lot of routes. Okay? They weren't asking him to be complex with the routes he was running. He wasn't running post corners. He wasn't running dig routes. 15 yards and breaking a dude off inside consistently. You know, he was running his steady diets of hitches, stops, comebacks, slants, and then he'd take you vertical every now and again. Even when he was underneath, I felt like guys were in his hip pocket, but they just couldn't do anything with him because he was too physical. There's a level of respect that comes with that. A guy that can still catch it with somebody draped over his back. Because if he ever begins to separate, now you got a whole nother set of problems on your hands. I equate it to a guy like Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson ain't really breaking dudes off. He's mastered the art of catching a football with a dude draped all over him. That's why every year you look up, Allen Robinson's got 93 catches and 1,128 yards, despite Mitchell Trubisky, Blake Bortles, or Nick Foles throwing him the football. Because no matter what, I'm going to make my guy right. That's what Ja'Marr Chase is able to do. But I want to know, can he separate just off of sheer route running? Can he break dudes off consistently? And then, is he a one-year wonder? I doubt it. But it's a question worth asking. Because there was no 2020 with him, he opted out because of COVID. In 2018, he was a young pup, fresh off the block and new to the scene. He really didn't know. He was wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. He wasn't really an impact player in 18. Just getting used to Joe Burrow, who had just gotten there. He didn't really do much. 23 catches, 313 yards, 3 touchdowns. Wasn't much there. He explodes in 2019, though. And we didn't get a follow-up. We were all waiting for the encore. Do you want an encore? Do you want more? Yeah, we wanted more. We didn't get more. So, is he a one-year wonder? Probably not. Probably not. But you can ask that question. It's a fair one. I project him as a top 10 pick. I don't know if he gets out of the top 5, to be brutally honest with you. If he does, he doesn't get out of the top 10. My comp for him is Pierre Garçon. And some of you are saying, Pierre Garçon? What? Don't shit on Pierre Garçon like he wasn't a beast. Like he didn't lead the league in receptions one year with Washington. Like Pierre Garçon wasn't breaking dudes off and getting open. Like Pierre Garçon wasn't making every tough catch on third down. Like Pierre Garçon wasn't capable of catching a drift route versus the New Orleans Saints and hauling ass for a 90-yard touchdown that resulted in griffining. Don't act like Pierre Garçon wasn't that dude, because he was. I see a lot of similarities in their games. Speed, toughness, physicality. The only thing different is Pierre Garçon was a dog in the run game. He'd block your ass. I don't see that in Ja'Marr Chase. But Pierre would go up for a 50-50 ball. I think Ja'Marr Chase has him beat badly in that department. But Pierre was capable. But when you talk about catching a football in traffic, doing the dirty work in terms of running those routes and being underneath in a third down situation and coming through. I remember when Pierre Garçon was in Washington, every third down I wanted him to get the ball because I knew even if he caught the football a yard short of the sticks or 2 yards, he was going to muscle somebody up and he was going to drag a defender for that extra 2 yards we needed to move the sticks. I feel the same way about Ja'Marr Chase. Could do the little dirty stuff underneath, but then when you fall asleep, he can take your ass uptown and go deep on you too. You give him enough space, he'll haul ass and run with the football after the catch and score a touchdown, or he'll just muscle you up. I see a lot of similarities in their games. Similar size, similar speed. A lot of people forget Pierre was a 4.42 guy coming out of Mount Union. So similar size, 6 feet, 200 pounds, similar physicality, similar ability to get vertical, similar ability to catch it in traffic. See a lot of similarities here between the two. So Ja'Marr Chase is my number 1 wide receiver in the 2021 NFL Draft.
LouieTeeNetwork.